Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today is Sunday, November 16, 2008, and today we're reading Genesis chapter 48. And there's a couple of things I want to mention here for today's Lessons for Life. We see here that Jacob, or Israel, has gotten older in age, and it says he can't see quite as well, but he's actually preparing to make his transition, and he brings his family together, and he's basically passing on the blessing. And that's one thing I see as a lesson that we can even learn from this, how he prepares to make his transition, where he brings his family together, and he says that the blessing that God has been with Abraham and Isaac and even himself, Jacob, and he's passing it on to his family. He's blessing Ephraim and Manasseh, even Joseph's sons. And the lesson I believe we can get from this is just how they were able to pass on that blessing that they received, so that the next generation would take it even to the next level and to a further level. And that's what, as I was reading, I was like, that's part of the way I'm even thinking about doing this Lessons for Life. And I'm not preparing to make my transition right now, but what I'm doing is I want to set up a foundation from reading these scriptures and reading through the Bible, so that the blessing that I received from it, that I could share with you, my family, and then you can take it to the next level. You can see what I've gotten off of it in the brief video that we do, and then take it to a deeper level, a deeper understanding, and even a greater blessing for yourself. So that's one thing I saw from it, where how he really was setting his family up for success by passing on the blessing that he's already gotten, and then they can build upon it and get take it even further to the next level. And that's stuff that we need to do even with our own families, with our children, as we keep going down the line, generation to generation, that we set them up so that they can excel us and exceed us. And you have to do that by first setting a foundation, so that they can they're not starting off at ground zero, but they're starting off on ground 2 or 3, whatever level you take it to, and then they can go to take it to the next level from there. So you have to set up that foundation by passing on the things that you've learned, and then they can excel you and exceed you even that way. So that's what I see here as Jacob is doing, where he's passing that blessing down to his family. And the other thing that we see here is that Jacob is blessing Joseph's sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, and Manasseh is the eldest. And the way Joseph even brings them to him, he brings them so that Manasseh will receive the right hand from Jacob, and Ephraim would receive the other blessing. So we see here that the right hand is the hand that holds the blessing. And what happens is that Jacob actually lays his right hand upon Ephraim, and Joseph actually is bothered by that, and he goes to switch his hand and says, no, this is the eldest one. But he says, no, Ephraim is one to receive the blessing. He says Manasseh is still going to be blessed, but Ephraim is one that actually is receiving that right hand blessing. And we see actually even how if you remember that Jacob is the one with Esau, that Jacob actually got the birthright, and he got the blessing, received the blessing over Esau, even though Esau was the eldest brother. So we see something here being repeated and being just basically almost the same situation, where it's like Jacob got the blessing over Esau, and now Ephraim's getting the blessing over Manasseh. So one thing that we can see, and we've said this before, is how different things just seem to repeat themselves in family lives, and you can trace certain things down and see how these things repeat themselves, how they repeat themselves. And even just reading the little bit that we read so far out of Genesis, that we've seen a couple of different instances where things are repeating themselves. So how can we use this in our life? You can see certain things that your grandfather done, your great-grandfather, and different generations down, and there can be certain things that you see that are good, and you want to continue them. But then there's also, if you truly evaluate and look at the different things that's been going on, you can see certain things that's been continually happening in each generation, and you can hopefully then see those things for what they are and correct them, so that these things don't repeat themselves, these negative things don't repeat themselves. But they do always repeat themselves, just like how we see here Jacob and Esau, and now Ephraim and Manasseh. And you can use that in your own life to correct some of the things that you may see that even I've done, and as you see your children, you see yourself doing, and then your children might see some things that you've done, and just being able to correct those things that have been going down from generation to generation. and also to not just see on the negative side, but also to continue those things that have been positive. And that was really what I got from today's Lessons for Life. There's really a lot more you can get from it, as always, so I encourage you to read the entire chapter through for yourself and get your understanding. You can get a lot more if you read it yourself and see what you get from it. So with that, create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today, and we will talk again tomorrow.